Every programming language has some way to build up data structures out of pieces. And you may have learned before a programming language that uses arrays with indices and so on, you know, for I equals 1 to 10, x sub I, blah, blah. In Scheme, we do have those actually, you'll see later, but the main data aggregation mechanism that we have is something called a list. And lists are made up of pairs. So let me start by showing you a pair. This is a pair. And it has typically an arrow coming in and some arrows going out. And so the book uses the example of rational numbers. So if we wanted to represent the number 3/4, we might put a 3 here and a 4 here. Okay? That's a pair. Even though this is not an abstract data type, it's a, I guess, concrete data type, it does have constructor and selectors. The constructor for pairs is called cons, which stands for construct. So you can see that this really is the kind of the key data aggregation mechanism. And the two selectors are called left and right. No, they're not. That would be too sensible. They are called car and cdr. Why are they called that? You want to know. Well, the very first implementation of Lisp was on the IBM 704, I think, computer, which had a register that was divided into pieces. It had a little piece, and then a big piece, and then a little piece, and then a big piece. And the little ones were called the prefix and the tag, which you don't have to worry about. And this one was called the decrement. And this one was called the address. So those names stand for the contents of the address part of the register and the contents of the decrement part of the register. The one on the left is the car, and the one on the right is the cdr. Don't ask me why. It's before my time. The reason that these names are still in use, despite how stupid they are, is that we can build data structures by hooking these together. And let's say this pair is called P, and I want to know what's down here. Well, this is the cdr of the car of the cdr of P, otherwise known as the cdr of P. And it's because you can do things like that that these otherwise stupid names have lasted. But having told you that, I should also tell you that you're never going to write cdr, because if you do, you're probably breaking a data abstraction. So probably what this really is something like the y coordinate of the endpoint of some line segment or something like that, right? And so you would say, instead of cdr, y coordinate of endpoint of line segment. Right? Okay. No, wait. See if this works. So in the library is this helpful procedure that teaches you how to pronounce these names. So this is q21cs61A, not to be confused with q21cs and so on.